Hey guys, it's Rachel, what's up, and welcome back to my channel. And today we have a very fun recipe. We are doing something that I haven't done before, but it's been really trendy on YouTube, and it's a video where we kind of test out a cooking video. I think this is gonna be a lot of fun. When I was writing the Kawaii Sweet World cookbook, I did so much recipe testing, and so I feel like I have a pretty good grasp on what makes certain recipes work and what goes into the chemistry of baking. And this video is also kind of a response to a video by Anne Reardon from How to Cook That. First of all, I have been a fan of Anne Reardon and How to Cook That for so long now, and so then when she gave me a shout out in one of her videos, I just about died. And a recent video that she did was she took videos from a channel called So Yummy, and she actually found that a lot of them don't work. And so today, as kind of a follow-up to that video and a thank you to Anne, I thought we would test out some of their recipes as well and see if they really work or not. So the video that we are focusing on today was one they did on this 9-flavor cookie. This thing looked absolutely incredible. Like, if you're gonna give me the option of 1 flavor or 9 flavors, I'm gonna pick 9 flavors. So that is what we are doing today. The whole theme of the video is 4 hacks for store-bought cookie dough. And so I thought we could also test those out as well. If you are excited for this video, make sure you tap that subscribe button and turn on those notifications as well. And without further ado, let's hop into it. Alright, so to get started on our 9-flavor cookies, we are gonna need, of course, 9 flavors of cookie dough, which seems like kind of an okay idea in the video, but then when you actually go to the grocery store and you have to buy 9 rolls of cookie dough, it seems a little bit crazy and excessive for just somebody that wants some cookies. But anyways though, it's time to start making our giant cookie dough log. I started off with this white chocolate macadamia nut cookie dough, and we're kind of defeating the purpose of it being pre-portioned because you're basically just gonna smush it all together and then form it into a cylinder. I made my cylinder kind of just a little bit smaller than the diameter of my apple core, but it's up to you. This ended up making some real giant cookies, so you could make it smaller if you want to. But basically, I just repeated that with all of my cookie dough. So I did the peanut butter one. This one was so tasty, and it was really hard to not just eat all the plain cookie dough because this stuff is really good just like raw out of the package too. Even though they tell you not to do that, like, who really is gonna pay attention to that? But yeah, just go ahead and keep going. And then it was time to remix some of our own flavors. So I'm gonna take some of the sugar cookie dough, and in the video, they have this like massive cleaver and they just chop it in half. So I was trying to replicate that, but it didn't like super work, but it's okay. Basically, you're just gonna cut it in half because now we're gonna make this into the double chocolate cookie dough. Super good. You just need about 1.5 tablespoons of cocoa powder, and then I'm just gonna knead that into the sugar cookie dough. Then you're also gonna add in about 1 tablespoon of some semi-sweet or dark chocolate chips, and then the secret ingredient is just 1/4 teaspoon of instant espresso powder. It doesn't really make it taste like espresso necessarily, but it just really deepens that chocolate flavor and makes them super decadent, so I highly recommend adding that in. And that's it for the double chocolate cookie dough. I also made a snickerdoodle cookie dough. For this one, I just added in 1/2 teaspoon of ground cinnamon. The next one I made was red velvet. For this, I just added in some red gel food color along with about 1 tablespoon or so of cocoa powder. And once again, this one is a little bit messy to make. Red gel food color gets all over your hands or your gloves. Cocoa powder gets all over the place. But this one was super good, so it's totally worth, I feel like, any mess. I also made a funfetti one, very easy. I just mixed in some rainbow sprinkles. And then we've also got the very classic Nestle Toll House chocolate chip. This, I feel like you can't really beat the taste of. And then the last one I did was just the classic Pillsbury sugar cookie dough. Awesome. Okay, not gonna lie, that took me probably like 2 hours to come up with those different flavor variations and to get everything prepped and wrapped in plastic wrap and then into the fridge. But then I just stuck those in the freezer for about 30 minutes, just until they were firm. I might have left them in the freezer for a little too long though, because they were pretty much rock hard when I took them out, but it's okay. I figured I could probably just muscle through it. So then I just took the apple slicer, just like they do in the video, and I went ahead and pushed down. Maybe it's my fault for letting it stay in the freezer for too long, but this took so much upper body strength. I had to full on like stand up body weight on the table, pressing down on this thing just to get it cut through. In the video, they make it look like it's really easy. So I'm kind of wondering if they added flour to the cookie dough so that the cookie dough is still stiff, but it's not hard or something like that. And the other thing I noticed is that if you're gonna cut through something that has like chocolate chips in it, the chocolate chips are really hard to cut through. The apple slicer is really meant for apples, not really like chocolate chips. And so it's really hard to cut through chocolate chips, but I guess you kind of like burn off some of the cookie calories. But then after I repeated that about 9 different times, I had a bazillion pieces of cookie dough all over my table. But then it was time for the cool part, which is to put it all together. So then I just had a sheet of plastic wrap on my table. And then I took 8 different pieces of cookie dough, and then just like in the video, I laid them out so that the rounded side was face down on the plastic wrap. After I rolled it up just a little bit, I also stuck in the centerpiece and then just kept rolling it up. And this actually works pretty well. The wedges might not perfectly fit, but all in all, it's pretty good. So this looked amazing as it was. The only thing, my cookie dough logs were a lot shorter though than the ones in the video. I think it's because I only used half a log of cookie dough for the custom flavors, but I will say in the video, they also use only half a log of sugar cookie dough. So they must have gotten some kind of like family size one or something. And then I also had a lot of extra cookie dough. And so then I could have just baked it off and made cookies like a normal person, but then I thought it'd be cool to make some kind of like mega cookie dough log, so I also made that. At this point though, the cookie dough was pretty much ready to go out of the freezer. I might have left it in the freezer for a little bit too long though, because this was not only difficult to cut through, but honestly kind of dangerous. So I had to kind of cut a little bit and then rotate and then cut a little bit more. I would just be really careful at this step. But even though it was super dangerous and kind of stressful, you have to admit this looks pretty incredible. I popped those onto the largest baking sheet that I own because these cookies are absolutely massive. And then I baked them off at 350 for about 11 minutes. And then I also sliced up the other cookie dough with the mega log that I made for no reason. And then I turned those into bears too, also for no reason, but I baked those off as well. And check it out, these are the cookies out of the oven. They're not as perfect as the ones in the video, so I do suspect that they added extra flour to the cookie dough because there's no way that those cookies didn't spread out in the oven. But then as for flavor, I did do a little taste test, so go ahead and check it out. Cookies are finished now. These look absolutely amazing. I think my favorite flavor is gonna be chocolate chip. I mean, okay, here's the thing. One, that's oatmeal raisin. But then also, your taste buds can't really tell that there's 9 flavors in this one cookie. So, I mean, like, it's good. I think the 9 flavor thing is obviously just gonna be a novelty. It is really cool though, because if you give this to somebody, they can try a bunch of different things in one. I'm gonna just take the optimistic standpoint here and say that I generally like this idea and I like this recipe because I think it's really cool to get 9 flavors in one cookie. And then also it's very creative to use an apple corer to get that effect. Those are my thoughts, but I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I had a lot of fun working on this. If you like it and you want to see more of these, make sure you tap that subscribe button. My last video is linked right down there. The blog post is right up there. And I think that's about it. Thank you guys so much for watching and joining me today, and I'll see you all back here again very soon. Bye guys!